Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Wave League Acer Edition. We have here a really exciting matchup, Eternal versus Misery, and we are starting on the Artist, seeing Ultra, who has already spotted multiple survivors around this somewhat dead zone area, I would say. You have a truck, a hill, corrupt generator around here as well. We are going to be trying to follow these survivors, get a nice and early bird hit. This might even result in a nice and early tag onto Zaka from our survivor roster. We see here one of the add-ons coming into play, but not getting a hit for him, sadly. We see, of course, the 4-bird add-on, which sometimes can help you with getting a bit of a nice shotgun, or maybe helping with slingshots, but right here not helping us just yet. Instead, we are going to have to chase Zaka normally onto these tiles. Zaka doing a good job just trying to leave, not trying to get trapped by the birds onto one tile. Again, leaving, doing a very good job so far. Right now today, I am casting completely by myself. I'm here with my absolute best friends, me, myself, and I. But that's okay, we will just have fun with these amazing trials. We are here in, I believe, the loser semifinals. You might think, why is Eternal in the loser semifinals? But they actually had a great loss against Elysium, playing amazingly. And those trials can, of course, be found on our Wave League YouTube channel now. In the meantime, first generator is already popping. Zaka still doing an amazing job chasing. This first generator probably doubled, which is a very standard strategy against the Artist. So far, Shack has not popped yet, though. Sometimes I feel like they try to stack Shack, but since Chase was around there, it's a little safer to just get another gen out the way. So far, Zaka dispelling the birds, and looks like we're dying under pallet. We do not have any forced hesitation. I believe that is banned. So we're gonna have to look around if anyone is stealthing for this pull right now, or this pallet save. We see footsteps! Oh! And the pallet save comes through just in time. Even though we do get a nice tag for it, but delaying this first hook for so long is gonna be absolutely amazing for Team Eternal. We are... Ooh, we're swinging for this. We do, of course, have some cross-ping, so I understand why Ultra's swinging for this, but that is, of course, not going to be a hit. We are just going to be chasing around this area now where a generator popped a little earlier. Ooh, expecting the double vault, and Zaka will finally go down. And we are, of course, a little close towards the middle of the map, which might result in one of our favorite strategies on Artist, which, of course, will be no basement hook. I think we are going to prioritize... Ooh, hooking on this slightly active generator, and maybe we'll also see a pain risk, but the survivors are not letting it happen. 2 body blocks only need 1 hit. Even with agitation, we're not going to be able to make this faraway hook, which is in a crucial spot on the map. We are instead going to have to keep chasing for a lot longer, and now Zaka is able to use his exhaustion, which you didn't see before, but it doesn't matter. Still going down right on the window. Crazy swing from Ultra. Zaka trying his absolute best to crawl onto the pallet. Will there be someone that... No, I think that was just more of a bait. But I think right now they are prioritizing doing the generator. Maybe try and get a reset onto Hardwell soon as well. This will, of course, be the pain res we expected. We're not sure yet which generator it hit, because I think Eternal is progressing multiple generators right now. And we see some screams from Spitz coming out, revealing a situation to the killer. I think a bit earlier than he would have hoped. I think he was stealthing for the pull, but Dramaturgy, my absolute favorite perk, which has never come in bad in scrims, is not going to let him stealth as well as he might have hoped. But we get away scot-free. There is no free tag to be giving, so we do find the location of at least 1 survivor. That is the injured Hardwell doing a gen across the map. And there's the other one. Okay, so Ultra now perfectly aware of where all the survivors are. I think he is now safe to go and pressure Spitz a little more off this gen. But I feel like trying to go to this gen, we've given him the option to go for the pull completely for free. That is a bit unlucky. That, of course, will not be a tag. We're instead just going to stick onto Zaka, who should, I believe, make Shack. Oh, we get the body block! Ultra! Oh my god. I feel like you usually see this type of tactic swing in the air to see a window block, but I've rarely seen it to block a pallet like that, especially when he was so far away. Amazing gameplay by Ultra, and that will result in a nice early second stage onto Zaka, but of course generators across the other side of the map are already popping. So we'll just have to see how much pressure they have onto these other gens. We see someone in the distance working that generator. Perks Ruin and Corrupt. Corrupt is of course gone, but we still have Ruin and Painres in play to help us. And we actually see Survivor coming for the pull already. We're trying to get Zaka off maybe a little bit sooner. It's not necessary yet, of course. And fourth generator is popping. I think we're quite aware of where all the survivors are right now. I'm not sure why we're shotgunning. I believe the survivor on 1 is already going for the pull. And they should again get that without taking any tags for it. But now, we'll just have to see, is Zaka going to be able to last and make anything? He might need some help from a different survivor. Of course, here comes Nightlight to help Zaka get away from this free gen situation you have on the right side of the map. We have Shaq 3 in 1, which, I mean, in a 3v1 with Ruin is definitely very nice for the artist and could help him out a lot. I think we're not sure exactly what we're going for. We were maybe trying to get a hit onto Nightlight, but the generator already pops. Adrenaline onto Zaka, but we're not even interested in chasing Zaka anymore because he's already dead on hook. That would only give us one extra stage, and especially in a tournament like Wave League where fresh hooks are a lot more important, we will have to prioritize going for Nightlight or maybe even one of the healthy survivors, but Eternal is not going to let that happen. We are playing for Nightlight, do not want to let him die. Oh! A bit of a missed body block coming out there because we were too scared of the bird. And Ultra with a down and a survivor in a bit of a dead zone. We're going to pressure him a little bit more. We get a nice injury onto Zaka. He's not going to be able to help much, but of course we are going to have to try to... Oh! Oh! Spitz almost gets the flashlight save. We're trying to go in the basement. That's not happening. The Shack pallet's still up. We're going to have to go for... Wait, do you make that? No, I was going to say, I think he was thinking about going into basement. You would not have made that with a hit tank. You would have been off. Of course, Zaka and Hardwell in the meantime are resetting. I think even though this 5-stage 2 fresh is a very, very good result for Team Eternal, they might be confident enough to get the survivor off the hook and escape at the gate on 7, because that is actually very close by if they get that open. Or do we see the survivors coming back? I think they're not done yet. They want to take as good of a win condition as possible here. And now we'll just have to see how they play this 3-man unhook. 3 healthy survivors versus 1 artist. Who can win? We're setting up a bit of a bird here. Might be able to help us. Oh, we're taking a nice and early tag. I think that was actually very well timed by Ultra. They don't get to pull for free, because they do still have to open the gate, of course. That was not opened yet. So I think the survivors were maybe a little bit too aggressive before the gate was opened. But Hardwell's reset instantly. I wonder if that was something like no one left behind. I think it must have been. That was such a fast unhook. Oh, the birds do not help us. We do not get the body block. And now we're just hitting both the healthy survivors. Spitz is the only one with a bird on him. The birds will also not help us. And we have another survivor ready for the body blocks. I don't think we're going to be able to get much done here. And that also barely doesn't hit. We maybe could have gotten the 2-tap onto Spitz, but it doesn't happen. We actually get a free stage 2 fresh result by Team Eternal. Absolutely amazingly played on the survivor side. Showing, even though artists can sometimes be a little scary in chase, you can absolutely still loop her on the Wrecker's Yard. And then amazing team play. Just ended up in an amazing result. And we will just have to be right back after a short intermission to see what Team Misery is able to cook up. Welcome back everyone to the second trial of our artist matchup in Team Eternal versus Team Misery. We have here, of course, Nightlight on the artist. An absolute Nightlight special, but it might be fun to add. This is actually Misery's pick. They picked the artist. And they will now have to show why they picked artist, because they have a very, very difficult win condition. They have to get 3 stages on 1 survivor, or 2 stages in total. Right now, Nightlight with a very early bird tag. We are going to be zoned to this edge map palette, which I believe is not the safest. We're not going to be able to make anything else. That That is even just an M1, a very early down for Nightlight. They do get to crawl underneath the pallet, and there's someone here. A sprint burst into the flashlight save. I think this is a very good strategy by Team Misery. When you have such difficult win conditions, like 2 stages, 3 stages, maybe like a little bit more, it might just be smarter to play somewhat unoptimally and have someone around helping this chase survivor. That is another tag. But where I was, it might be just good to have someone helping around the chase and survivor either with flashlight or pallet saves the entire game. Because even just a couple chases going badly could result in losing the entire game. Now Nightlight trying to play the shack. I think he's just going to be able to pick up pretty safely with the survivor behind him. I think we're going to prioritize right now a pain res hook over the basement. And yes, of course that is a pain res. In Nightlight's perk arsenal we see, of course, Agitation, pain res, Corrupt, completely standard on Artist, but then of course Noed, which might result in some free extra stages in the end game, which is all he really needs. Right now, we see a little bit of progress here. That is the survivor that was helping chase earlier. We have only a bit of a bad pallet here. The first generator will already be popping. We did see some auras around that generator when we shot a bird at it. Now Nightlight gets a nice tag onto Wancy, knows where the other 2 survivors are. They just pop 2 gens. Just saw Wancy running towards one of the generators being popped. They might try to go for a reset, and Nightlight I think is interested in stopping the other survivor who is still left to go for the pull. Right now we are just holding the cross. We see them on the gen. And I think we're just going to send some birds. I think there's no reason for Nightlight to leave this hook right now, and he agrees. Oh, we're actually going for a bit of a slingshot on this generator on 7. It will not be hitting. We actually see 2 survivors all of a sudden coming in to save. I think we hit the survivor on hook. Oh no. And now we have Ultra in chase. Will not make the window. Does the BT run out in time? It does, and we drop Shack Pallet with that. Now we have no Shack Pallet. Wancy is injured with the flashlight. Will not be going for the flashlight save, of course, and we get a beautiful, beautiful pain res hook, or a beautiful, beautiful basement hook, where we will very easily be able to secure Ultra, because I don't think Misery is going to be able to pop 3 different generators in the time that he dies on hook. So then we will already have almost the win con. Right now, if we camp Ultra and every other survivor makes it out, that would actually still be a win for Misery. So Nightlight is instead just going to get a nice down here at 11, using those extra birds he has with his add-on. And now, this 3rd hook stage will secure the tie condition. In the meantime, luckily Ultra has been rescued from the basement, so Team Misery still has a chance, but they will have to get everything they have. We find Ducky a bit in the open. That will result in a nice tag once again for Nightlight. And now we are in a bit of a dangerous position. We have 2 injured survivors and 1 survivor on hook. The only way we really get to get this unhooked for free is if... okay, it doesn't even matter. We get a beautiful snipe on this tiled Nightlight, of course, having practiced all of these setups with Artist. And that 4th hook will secure the first set win for Team Eternal. We see the unhook coming through on 12. That means there's 2 survivors there, but Nightlight is not interested in stopping them. Instead, trying to stop this generator being popped. It is still quite low progress though, so we're not even going to go and kick it. We're just going to chase the survivor that was here. Another injured survivor, barely missing the bird. But we will actually go back to this fairly progress gen. We now see 2 survivors around it. This could be a bit of a dangerous position if a survivor dies on this generator. Ooh, do we get this? Yes, that is just barely in range to still injure them. Oh, we're trying. We hear a bit of a window vault in the meantime. That was maybe still an attempt at a flashlight save. And that is the first survivor out of the trial. We are interrupting, as I said, this generator on 7. Ducky is going to try his best to take the chase as far away as possible. Another generator around here gets popped. And Ducky Now, on the double vault tile, we still have that pallet at free, even though it is very unsafe. Winning a bit of a 50 here. We have a pallet a little bit in the distance, but right now Ducky is choosing to play this tile instead. It can be a bit of a tricky tile to play, but even just bloodlusting it can be quite safe. And of course, that will result in a down onto Ducky. This time we don't hear a survivor nearby. Not that it would have helped because we were facing the wall. And oh, this generator is also 99'd. We don't get to pop it. Nightlight is not letting him pop it. This is the final generator that needs to be popped for Misery to still get... Oh, they get it just in time. That will, of course, activate our NOED, but the survivor is already injured. We do get the slight speed increase, which might have actually helped us from not letting them force the locker. And with that slight speed increase, we do get to go after the survivor, trying to unhook in the meantime, and I think that will almost surely be a 4K0. Actually, the NOED coming in quite clutch, even though after Misery doing a great job keeping the pressure on the gens, even though the start was not that good for them. And now we are most likely on the final chase with Ducky. Nightlight doing no special movements, holding M1, only turning his holding W, only turning his camera a little bit. And Ducky will fall onto the floor, and I think all survivors will be going back to the campfire after this because there is no unbreakable allowed. The only thing we might still see is tenacity is allowed, so we could still see a bleed out, but I think that would only make this trial last a lot longer without any real reason to it. So I doubt anything like that will happen. Overall, first set is a very dominant performance by Team Eternal. But that absolutely does not mean that this match is over. We are of course playing a best of 3. Right now Cheese is actually kind of stealthing. Cannot find him around where we downed him, so he might have crawled a little bit further away. We could maybe see him going for Hatch, which should of course spawn at Shack. Just checking edge map right now. No killer instinct though. Okay, well, while we look for the survivor on the ground, we might as well just look into the future because the next trial... Ah, finally, there we go. After this artist set, where we will end it with a nice Mori, we will be staying on the Wrecker's Yard. I believe this is our absolute favorite map because every single set on this matchup from Misery versus Eternal is going to be played on Wrecker's Yard. And after this, we will see a Spirit set being picked by Team Eternal. So everyone stay tuned, and we will be right back with the Eternal on Killing First on the Spirit. Welcome back, all you wonderful people, to the second set of Eternal versus Misery. We have here Zaka on the Spirit, of course. We see a pretty standard perk build coming in, Sloppy Eruption, and of course NOED in the end game is going to help us out quite a lot. We see Scratch Marks coming in very early, Misery not trying to stealth, which will result in a nice and early attack onto Ultra. Ultra taking it immediately to Shack, which is of course the safest space against the Spirit to secure. We're going to last a little bit longer in chase, but after the Shack is dropped, I feel like especially on Crosswing, it's just going to be scary. You're kind of playing 50s, and it doesn't even matter. Ultra not even making this window on 6. Just going to be going down immediately. No flashlight save to help him out like in the last trial. And we will get a nice and early hook onto... I think we're going towards 8 or 9. This is a very nasty free gen we have on the bottom left side of the map here. I think Zaka realized that as well, and survivors have also been working on this generator. We're going to quickly apply Eruption and look maybe for who is around here, because we see no Scratch Marks, no survivor just yet. But since the survivor spawned all the way on free and there's some progress here, there has to be someone around. And Zaka of course realized that as well, and we do find them. It is luckily the sprint per survivor, so no fast tag is going to be coming through just yet. I take my words back. I'm just lying. And wait, are we going for the trade? We're going for an immediate trade onto Ultra. I'm quite surprised to see this. We now have a slugged survivor, and only 2 survivors can be doing any gens. We're not stuck at the Shack, which has already been dropped before. We have this filler here, but it's of course very unsafe. We're playing around it. That does indicate that there's no one around for a pallet save. Generator in the distance is popping. But now, Ultra, dying next to Shaq, will be going right back in the basement. In the meanwhile, Ducky does get picked up by our 4th survivor. But the second stage on one generator is coming through. There should be at least one more other generator relatively high progress. And now Zaka is going to try to find that. Finding one survivor up on 12. Pallet gets pre-dropped. We're going around it. And survivor trying to play the short side of the pallet, but Sokka either hears them or realizes that that's his only play. Gets an early tag again. That's our second generator popping, of course, but the chase is kind of going in this direction as well. Winning the 50, very nicely done. That would extend the chase just enough, and Zaka is not gonna let them unhook just for free. We now see our last healthy survivor going into the basement. Only 2 generators have popped, and I don't think there's much pressure on other generators. And now we are gonna see, of course, the body blocks coming through. Oh, and I don't think Abby is able to help them up in time. I think those 10 seconds will definitely pass. And oh my god, Abby also doesn't even get out. We get a free tag to go for this. This is absolutely disgusting. In the meantime, luckily, we see some resets coming through, but Ducky is right here. And we will just already get our first survivor out of the game very, very early into the trial. And now here we have a decent bit of progress, but no survivors in sight. I believe right now the only thing they really should be focusing on is trying to get a reset before Zaka is able to snowball this 3v1. Oh, and we actually find the reset. Abby injured on this pallet. We are of course going to be phasing, don't have to break it. And again, short phase, no vault mind games. We'll just be going down Eruption procs in the distance. I'm not sure if we saw a survivor there. I don't think so. So instead we are going to go to the bottom side of the map where there is another generator being progressed, and we're going to try to just find where these survivors are. You know, we can play it relatively slow. We have an early tunnel out. And we're not even going to kick yet, of course. Eruption is still in cooldown, so we have some time to look if Ducky is around here. We will not find them just yet. And we're just quickly going to be going back. The pull is already coming through very early. Instead of going right back, we're just going to quickly apply Eruption. That was, I believe, Ducky running kind of towards us. Ooh, just barely winning the vaults there, even on an 8 ping. Very nicely done, but Zaka is not interested. We're instead going to be going back to this injured survivor on the top side of the map. This pallet is already dropped and broken, so we have barely any safety here. We have just one filler. Oh, the dead hard on Crossping comes through. Sadly, we don't take the hit anywhere else, so we're still kind of zoned onto this pallet. But we are buying a nice bit of extra time here. We might even... Oh, we get the hit right through the pallet. I was going to say earlier we did see Ducky, which is a sprinter survivor around, but we will not be playing for any pallet saves. Instead, we try to win the 50. Barely not going to happen. That is the second stage onto Abby. But now for quite some time we have left all these generators at 9, 8. We have not checked in on them in a little bit, so I would assume we have a nice bit of progress on them. That is an injured survivor though. And we are kind of stuck edge map. In the meantime, the pull comes through with an FTP to try and protect our Deathlock survivor. And we are just going to take this nice slug on the edge map. That's going to take a lot of time away from the survivors to go and pick her back up again. And now I feel like no matter who we find, we are in a great position here. Either we find the injured Ducky, who just used FTP, and we get a 2-man slug situation going, or we find Abby, who is on Deathhook, and we would be able to make this trial a 2v1 relatively soon. So that is why I think Zaka is not really interested in staying around this slug for too long, and so just going to try to look for anyone. And we find Abby! Very nicely done, expecting where they are. A nice and early tag comes through. We're in a phase, I think, just right on top of them. We're expecting DH. No, just swinging, not waiting for the DH. I think Abby was gonna save Dead Hard for the next game, because once the killer knows you have Dead Hard, they can of course just wait it out. But anyways, this will result in a 2v1 with 2 injured survivors and 3 generators remaining. I feel like this is a situation where you can barely get anything done. That's why we see Survivor trying almost desperately to just pop at least one more generator to try and get a bit of a better win condition for their team. But it will not be happening. We hook right on this generator, get another eruption proc on it, and now all we really need is to find out where the last survivor is. They are not on 4. They might be towards 10, 11, and they may have stealthed for this generator is what Zaka is thinking right now, and we see the scratch marks very nicely determining their position. We see them running towards 12, which was of course a bit of a dead zone, so we're staying on this pallet. And now, as always, we just see the phases, and nice and quick down once again, and we're just gonna play it safely. We're just gonna get the hook. No reason to spend a bunch of time slugging, and then maybe they can crawl away with tenacity. Maybe they'll get the hatch or the bleed out. Zaka is not tempting any of that. Now we will just have to wait and find Ducky, and that will confirm the 4k3 on this first Spirit trial. Absolutely amazing result by Zaka. In the meantime, of course, we get to hear our lovely Spirit making some awesome noises. We do love to hear it. No generator has been started, so Ducky is either stealthing somewhere completely in the edge of the map. Oh, I think they were actually trying to pop this generator just for the 4k2, and Zaka was already a bit scared of that. So we will just find Ducky in this last trial. We win the pallet drop, but now we're stuck on this relatively unsafe tile. We're just choosing to leave it, but I don't think we'll be able to leave much. Ooh, almost a bit of a window mine game. Oh, the game stutters a little bit, but it won't matter. Ducky will still be falling onto the ground. And that secures the 4k3 for Team Eternal. Now we will just have to wait a little bit while this hook goes down. We are not allowed to Kobe, sadly. And Zaka is just gonna explore this beautiful Autohaven map right now. The Wrecker's Yard, our absolute favorite place. Oh. And there we have come to the end of the trial. I think a very dominant performance by Zaka, really showing that Spirit with such short chases really does deserve to be an S tier killer sometimes, especially on Crossping, where you can just guarantee those hits, guarantee downs very quickly. And we will just have to see if Team Misery is able to put up a result as good as this in the next trial. So we will be right back, everyone. Welcome back, all you wonderful people. We are here at the second trial of the second set of Eternal versus Misery. We see Ultra on the killer running a little bit of a different build. We have Ruin and Dying on top of the standard Sloppy and Corrupt. We're gonna see if we can find any survivor stealthing edge map, but it seems the survivors already gone into Shack, and we are seeing all of their auras with Undying. Ooh, we do actually find someone in the edge map here. We're gonna phase on top of them. We see them walking to this pallet. Crossping is gonna help us an absolute amount there, resulting in an instant first tag onto Zaka. We see him actually slow vaulting that window. That might indicate the life, of course, coming onto him. And yeah, no, we definitely saw you going behind the generator, Nightlight, there. But we do get to see some funny perks from the survivor side. We see Champions of Light probably combined with Fixated. But Nightlight is actually just going to go down onto this pallet right at the start of the trial. Not interested in playing any funny 50s in chase, just gonna play for that hopefully guaranteed survivor that's nearby who can help him get back off the killer's shoulder. Ultra doing his best to find someone, but it may actually appear that there wasn't anyone around. We are doing a generator right around 6, however. Nicely figuring out where the survivor stood still. We now have 2 injuries and the totem popping in the distance. We see For the People onto Nightlight. Wow, that is so interesting. I think Spitz realizing Nightlight was going to get tagged there even through the pallet. Oh, but it doesn't matter. Even with champions fixated, we're going down right afterwards. But we gave Nightlight that second health state because they were sure someone was going to get tagged there. But sadly, it doesn't matter. We will still get a nice and early hook. Meanwhile, Zaka did get reset. So Zaka and Hardwell resetting somewhere. I mean, we see some scratch marks. This might already be where those survivors are at. And this generator, in the meantime, with Ruin still up, actually regressing it so much in the meantime. Spitz already was injured. Ooh, we're getting a little bit lost on where they went. Are we interested in keeping this chaser? I think we are. Oh my god! Okay. That is a nice down onto Spitz, who was already done vaulting the pallet pretty much. Of course, the pickup or the unhook onto Nightlight comes through in the meantime. We actually get the reset. Wow, that is a very quick reset. We see, of course, Sprint Burst here combined with Champions of Light and Fixated on Nightlight, who does make the broken bus now. We see some more flashlights being shined at the ground. Doing his absolute best to mess with Ultra a little bit. We're just dropping this pallet early. Let's see if we can win another phase 50, and ooh, we actually get away from the edge map failure. We get to the bus, which is slightly safer, but still not that safe. Oh, we're gonna keep running around it. And Nightlight sends it at just the correct time. We're actually getting Bloodlust on Spirit, something you don't see too often. Spitz just got picked up, 1 generator has been completed. And even though we had an early down onto Nightlight, the second chase is being played absolutely phenomenally. And now we have had the time to reset every single survivor, and we may have actually lost Nightlight in the meantime. Ultra trying to look for him in this edge map, but he might have already left a little further towards 10. Or maybe he's still around here. Ultra's not sure. I think we're just going to be leaving our chase instead. We're going to be going to some locations where we're guaranteed to find a survivor, which is of course Shack. We find Hardwell instantly running far away towards free. Oh, we're swinging through the pallet, nicely winning the 50. And we might just take this tag and go and interrupt some more generators, because we have, of course, still Ruin up. Ruin doing an absolutely great job. So until the survivors find that Ruin, this tag and go playstyle is being pretty good onto Ultra. And oh, actually stayed right there on the generator. I think that was live on Zaka, making it around the Shack to another relatively safe filler, winning the standoff here. Nice pallet stun onto Ultra. And now I feel like if we just keep committing this chase, the survivor's gonna have time again to reset Hardwell. Okay, we do nicely figure out where Zaka went. Yeah, the survivors are just doing another gen. They're gonna be able to get the reset. So we're leaving this just in time before 6 pops. We find Spitz, and it will result in another quick tag. We are now getting into the situation where we have a lot of injuries on the survivors, and we could maybe see some snowballs if they don't reset properly and if they don't reset soon. Yeah, I think the last generator we haven't checked in a while is the Gen on 9, and it is of course also close to popping. We see here again Nightlight, who did go down earlier, so if we get a down onto him quick, we might still be able to try and get a tunnel out, but I feel like with the pressure the Team Eternal has on these generators, it is going to be hard to try and get a tunnel out and kill all survivors before they're able to pop only 2 more generators, because I need to remind you, the win condition for Team Eternal is only popping 3 generators, since Zaka was able to 4k free Team Misery in the previous trial. And right now Ultra is just as scared as that. Multiple generators are close to popping, and we have to stop almost all of them at the same time. But Spirit, even though she does go fast, she can't phase into multiple locations on the same map. Nightlight just popping this gen and winning the pallet again. Ultra trying to swing for pallets multiple times. Eventually they catch on and they're gonna start dropping. Whoa, I don't even know what mind game that was. That might have been a 99 sprint burst on Nightlight. But he makes it away from the edge map filler. Waiting very patiently. Do get a nice down again, but it doesn't matter. Multiple generators popping at the same time. And that will not only get us to a 4k1, but it will also get us the set win for Team Eternal. That of course does not mean this trial is over yet. The trial ends when all survivors are dead or when we're out of the gates. So right now Team Eternal is still in a relative genlock, I would say. The left side of the map has a couple generators remaining. So we are going to be trying to reset in the meantime while Nightlight is on the hook, and we've gone to the complete opposite side of where our hook is. And Spitz does make it back to this pallet. Nightlight gets picked off the hook in the meantime. So they're going to be able to reset him pretty easily, which will make it impossible to get to a 3v1 anytime soon, I assume. We're seeing some missed skill checks going on right now. I'm not sure if that's on accident or if they're trying to catch the killer's attention away from where they want to be. Wait, we're actually checking basement. He thought maybe missed a skill check on the shack gen and then we leave towards the basement, but it's not happening. Spitz being broken right off the hook. I think that indicates second wind. And we're just nicely pre-dropping this pallet, winning a 50 again. I think Saka is now just simply gonna take chase away from the left side of the map, no matter what. And oh, we've actually not been camping this pallet. Not sure where Zaka went. We are instead just going towards these other survivors. Hardwell going onto the hill. No balanced landing yet, I believe. We'll make the fast vault again. Sadly, will be taking a tag, but we are just running as far away as possible from all these active generators. Going all the way to free, while this generator on 8 is being worked by Nightlight right now. And oh wow. The fixated combo is definitely helping Nightlight here. Ultra not entirely sure where to go, getting stunned again. And yeah, I was gonna say, if we swing for that, I pray to God that that doesn't help. And the generator actually pops already. So we've now received all generator points, and now all survivors are still standing, and we're gonna be able to get most likely at least some outs. Nightlight is still full health, and he is also our death hook survivor, so even hooking him would result in only 2 more points. But even that is looking a difficult challenge right now, as we cannot really stay on top of him. Nightlight doing an amazing job juking. Ultra not being able to find him. He's already left all the way to 6. We saw him running away in the distance. And the gate on free is already opened. And I assume we're just going to see a nice line of survivors. Everyone join the train of Team Eternal. We're going to run all the way to the gate together. The body blocks are coming through. They're not even going to let Spitz go down. And I think that will result in a nice 3 stage by Team Eternal. Very nicely. Okay. I think Spitz may have been trying to go for a bit of a funny dead hard. But sadly that's not going to happen, and we will gift some extra stages to Ultra. A nice bit of a Valentine's gift, you could say. And that is the end of not only this set, but its entire matchup, which will be won by Team Eternal in a 2-0. And I believe that is not only the last set for this match, but that is the only match we have today. But do not fear, because tomorrow we will be back with another amazing quarterfinal match, and that will be between Team Demonic and Calamity. It will be around 10 PM, so make sure you are there. And with that, I will be seeing you later, and have a good day.